Okay. Oh, perfect. Good evening, everyone. Hi, you guys. I'm Blythe Whaley, and we are here at the Twin Cities Film Fest. Our second day continues, and I am lucky enough to get to host here in just a little bit for the movie Pretty Boy. So you'll get to see some familiar faces. They were at the Twin Cities Film Fest a couple years ago. So we will get that started here shortly, but hopefully you're enjoying your evening. Grab some popcorn if you're at home, and we'll take you through this here in just a little bit. But to let you know a little bit about me, if you don't know me, I have worked with the Twin Cities Film Fest in years prior here hosting the red carpet. And every year it's so exciting because you get to see some new faces, some familiar faces, but also just hearing about so many different crews and how they came up with these films. And we have a lot of films that have those Minnesota ties. And so getting to have them here at our Twin Cities Film Fest is so exciting. And for me personally, it's neat to see an event this size just here in our backyard, it feels. So we will get started here, and I will welcome in our wonderful guest and our talent here onto the red carpet. We're going to have these guys join us. We have 3 lucky contestants. You all can actually join me on the red carpet. And this is our, of course. I'll first introduce you. This is Marcel Walls, and you are the director of this film. Right. And for us, I just want to ask you off the bat to tell us a little bit about, we're going to keep scooching over. We'll scooch a little bit more. We'll get cozy in here, and we'll get rolling. But Marcel, can you tell us a little bit about this film? I know it's part of going off of that first one. This is the sequel. So can you tell us a little bit about maybe that first one into the second one?
Okay, so the first one was about Fame. She's a actress turned blind after surgery, and she got stalked by a killer, by Pretty Boy, in her house in the Hollywood Hills. So Pretty Boy is actually a direct sequel to the first one, which takes place in the same night. And Pretty Boy's crashing a Valentine's party with a lot of blood and gore. That's actually it. Yeah. I can't say more because the rest would be spoiling too much.
Of course. My next thing for you would just be to ask you that you've done so many films in this genre. What has tied you to this, and what has made you want to keep coming back to do some more?
That's a good question, and I don't even know how to answer that. I mean, I did a lot of horror films in the past, and I think that's my thing. I don't even know why. I grew up on those movies. Scream was my favorite movie, my first horror film, and it's still my favorite. So I'm super excited for the new one, and I think it's just my favorite genre. And there's so much you can do, especially in that genre. You can add comedy, you can add drama, you can add everything and combine that with horror. You can do it whatever you want, and that's actually the only genre you can do that.
That's so cool. Yeah. No, well, it's neat to hear how invested you are in this genre. Yeah. But we're going to introduce some of these guys who are with you. I'm standing right next to you. This is Judd Rowan and Jed. Excuse me. Jed.
You're too young to know who Jed Clampett is, though. Sorry.
Judd, we are so glad you're here. And I just want to ask you about what it was like playing this character. I know you had to play him in the first one, blind, and now playing him again. What things did you learn maybe from that first time that you took to the second one?
Well, the sequel was a lot more of a workout. I mean, I had to carry around an actress, which I didn't have to do that in the first one. And,
go to the gym at all? Do you get ready for this?
I mean, I had to kind of prep. I mean, even a 100-pound actress, that's still 100 pounds. Yeah. You got to curl that and everything. But, I mean, to follow up on what Marcel was saying, about horror, I was thinking about it. It's like, it's the only genre where I can be a leading man in. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, the romantic comedies, I mean, I'm just not going to get cast as that. So I was just thinking about that when you were bringing it up. So that's my reason I like horror.
What was something that you enjoyed on this set that maybe was different from some of the other films that you've taken part of?
I said this many times. I mean, it's kind of rare when everyone is just bringing their A game. I mean, everybody was on point. Everybody. From the crew to everyone in the cast was like 100% into it, 100%, performing and executing what they had to do. And you know, it's even the best movies. You have maybe, you know, the best ones have, you know, maybe most of the people doing that. But this one, everybody can do it. So.
And what was it like? We'll introduce the guy next to you, but what was it like working with Robert?
Robert was just incredible character actor and just pulled off this nerdy but very cool dude. And, you know, just exemplified just the range of the cast, you know. So he did a great job. He kind of stole the show a little bit, I think. But
One last main one for you. To play a character who is a killer, what was that like for you to get into that mindset to really make this a believable character?
well, it's just plain as day for me. It's like getting up and, you know, having breakfast. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's weird playing a killer. You know, it's weird. You have to go to some you know, dark places and stay there, and you know, it's a strange character, but it's the most fun characters to play. I had a lot of fun. Yeah. You know.
Well, it seemed like it. Well, thank you so much. We're just going to switch over. We'll have Robert, you come on over. Robert, I just want to ask you about your experience here on this film, working with Marcel. What was that like? What did every day feel like? Did you bring something new into it?
Yeah, actually, I come from a comedy background, and Marcel has a very like serious and specific tone to his films, being a German director. So it's different than anything someone in LA will. It's a different vibe than anyone will provide for you. So I was able to be a little more sincere, maybe a little more serious about it, and not joke around. You know, be a sincere character for once.
And now, being at the Twin Cities Film Fest, what does this mean to you to be able to be here to see your film get seen?
Well, we saw how it played in LA, and it went really well. And I've never been to a legit film festival before, and I feel like Pretty Boy is the best thing I've been in. So I want to see how other people see it. You know, I want to see the reactions of people in Minnesota to what, because people in LA, we're like, that's old hat, horror movies, we've seen it, gore, but like, you know, I want to see what everyone else is going to think about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. We'll have you switch one more time here with Marcel. And Marcel, can you tell me about your background, of course? How did you get into filmmaking? Did you always know that this was the path for you?
I kind of knew it, yeah. After, like already mentioned, that Scream, that was that switch in me, and I started writing scripts. Then I figured out I can't do that. So I said, I thought, what is then the next step? What could I do? What I can, and then it was directing. That's how it came about, and yeah. And then I started in Germany with some super low budget movies, and 3 years ago we moved to LA.
And did you always know that this was going to be a sequel to the prior film, Blind?
Well, we knew from the beginning on when we shot Blind that, okay, we had already idea on set. So, okay, that could be cool and this and that. So we hoped that we could do a sequel to it, and then finally we got it. Yeah.
And having some of those characters that you've already worked with, those actors, what was that transition? You didn't have probably a whole lot of differences. Was that easier to come about in that second one? Those relationships were already established?
The funny thing is we only have two people from the first one. So that's Pretty Boy and our beautiful actress, Sarah French. She played Faye in the first one. So it was kind of a team thing with Joe Netter, who wrote the script, a brilliant and beautiful script. So that was our group from the first one, those four people. And we came back for the sequel, and it was great.
Anything about this festival here as you get ready to see your film on the screen again that you're excited about?
I think I speak for all of us that we're excited about everything tonight, because the Twin Cities Film Festival is one of our favorites. And I'm not saying that because I'm here right now.
Sure.
No, really. Because it's really the only one we went to this year, and we thought we have to go. No matter what, we have to go. And it's a great festival, and we like it to be here. And because also Joe's connection, Sarah's connection to Minneapolis, and Joe's daughter's family are here, and that's great.
And can you talk about Sarah's transition to be playing a blind character, how difficult maybe that was for her, or what she had to go through to be ready for that role.
Well, she went through a lot. I know that even after the shoot from the first one, she went through a house like this and touching her stuff like she was, and it was very, very emotional for her when we started shooting the sequel. She started crying, and then I saw her crying, I started crying, and everyone started crying.
2 weeks after the first one, she told me she was taking a bath and she was crying from the character that she played Faye in the first one 2 weeks later in the bathtub.
I mean, it sticks with you. That's the thing. You see what that looks like for actors, what they go through to make sure that it's coming across on screen. And I'm sure you really appreciate that dedication to make sure that it was. But is there anything else about your film that you hope that people take away from this today?
I think they will, especially at the end. I'm pretty much sure. What we found out at the last screenings, they're more shocked and kind of think about the film and talk about it, and that's what you hope for as a filmmaker. That's all I hope. Even if it's a good thing or not, if they talk about it and think, oh, why, how, and that's a goal. Yeah.
Well, it has been wonderful talking with you guys. We're so glad you're back here at the Twin Cities Film Fest.
Again.
But you guys, this is Pretty Boy, and we're so glad you're here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we'll be back here for more red carpets in the days to come, but I'm Blythe Whaley shutting us down here for tonight. Thanks, guys.